from your vantage point, what does fear do to the shape of decisions in farmer supply chains?
I think an element here is, firstly, the most senior executives do not need to be all-seeing, all-knowing people. So, they're overwhelmed. Many people are overwhelmed with the amount of data that's coming to them, even the amount of dashboards. Let's forget data, the amount of dashboards that are coming towards people and the alerts that are coming. And you can only deal with the top 5%. So you've got to start to build capability in that allows you to filter out the noise, to filter down the noise, to push down your teams and down the decision processes. Capability. So let me give you a little story as an example. So I was sitting in someone's office just before Christmas, and somebody pushing, sorry to interrupt the meeting, but I need this decision from you. And it came into a supply chain executive and just said, I need the decision now. And it was a fairly simple issue. And we kind of reviewed it afterwards. I had a conversation with the supply chain executive and said, why couldn't that person make that decision themselves? I said, well, because they're newer to the team. And I said, well, okay, what's your process to go from where you are now to them being able to make that decision in the future? Because that decision should not have ended up on your desk. And we talked about this, the typical things, but let's move it into the electronic world of watch me do it, work with me, now me watch you do it, now you do it, and make a recommendation, and that whole process. But in the digital world, in the technical world, that's much more around dashboard visibility, alerts, guidelines, parameters, and things. And it's really a question of the things that because you've been in the job 12 years, that your new colleague doesn't know. How do you create that corporate library of information? Something about this production line often, as it transitions between two certain pack configurations, has a little bit of a delay, and how do you build that into your planning parameters? Those kind of things really require that you start to build your decision processes by ideally pushing stuff away, but not handing off responsibility.